Okay, so welcome bloggers. It's blog 23 of hashtag fitter not fatter. Hope you're all keeping well, getting out, doing your running, cycling, walking, whatever you're doing to keep fitter not fatter. So we're on blog 23, can you believe it? So something different today. I've got with me an old school friend from Weydon, Richard Dunsmore. And I caught up with Richard recently, and which was great after 34 years. Can you believe it? And Richard was telling me what was keeping him busy in lockdown. I thought it'd be interesting to hear what he was doing because I thought it was fantastic. So, Richard, tell me a bit about what your thing is and how you've been doing your thing in lockdown, and a bit of your story, please.
Cool. Yeah, will do. Thanks, Phil. By the way, it was great reconnecting with you. Like I say,
Cool.
weren't that close at school. Certainly didn't tap you up for your lunch money. That's for sure. But like I say,
you were the only one that didn't.
Yeah. No worries. So, I was basically fundamentally training in martial arts for too many years. I then injured myself out of training, ended up running classes. If you can't sort of like do it yourself, shout at people, get them doing it instead. And they've been going for 4 years quite successfully. And then obviously COVID happened. The gym shut down, and I was like, well, that's that then, because, you know, what do you do? I was using the gym myself. I'd always do a warm-up, a training session before and after classes for as I was there, and I was a bit sort of like, oh, even I can't train. So we were allowed to start walking, or a form of exercise, for an hour a day. That's what the government told us. So me and my wife decided we'll just go out walking. We do an hour's walk every night. One, to get out of the house, and two, because I needed to keep my fitness up. I'd got to a really good point with my fitness and strengthening up my legs, which is pretty much what I injured. But then I was contacted by a few of the students. I was running a pretty successful kids kickboxing class. Had about
and you were contacted during lockdown, were you?
During lockdown, yes.
Oh,
so
right,
basically, cool. Because on the Friday night when the government said all the gyms were closing, that pretty much was it. I had to send out text messages, emails, and everything to parents and students, and you know, it was actually one of the worst things I had to do. It truly was quite emotional, worryingly emotional. I always thought, if I had to walk away from doing this coaching and teaching, I'd just walk away from it. But I found out it's not that easy. So these people are like, what are you going to do? You know, are you going to run classes at your garage? Are you going to do it in a field? And I was like, I'm doing nothing. This is a pandemic. Let's see where this goes. So it lasted about 2 weeks. And then finally, I've made quite good friends with a couple of the parents of the kids that I train. And they were saying, well, can't you do something over Zoom? Everyone's talking about Zoom. And I was like,
right, yeah.
So I said, well, first of all, it was quite an experience managing a class. Usually I'm the person in the class being shouted at or whatever. And to be that person, it was out of your comfort zone, but, you know, people turned up and people seemed to enjoy me shouting at them and stuff. So that was cool. So it was, I thought I'll do one. I'll try one. We got 4 kids involved, and I redid my garage. I matted out the floors. We cleared all the rubbish out. That's all in the shed. We downloaded Zoom, stuck the laptop in there, and just went with it. And the kids absolutely loved it. And they all said, "Oh, can we do this next week?" This is great.
So when did you do your first Zoom class then?
Beginning of April. We decided to kick it off in April.
And there was 4 in the first one, yeah.
4 in the very first one, and we didn't know if we were going to continue this or just keep it as it was. We threw the invite out, and we progressively been making up the numbers. I'm now up to about 12 to 14 kids that train on a Saturday morning, so
that's
doing
fantastic.
something right. And but then I figured I really should ask some of the adults as well, because it was going quite well in the garage, and I thought I'll just message people, and the same thing's happened again. I'm now running 3 adult classes and 1 kids class. It's funny how it's reflecting what literally happened at the gym. This is almost the same thing that happened at the gym, but now it's happening over Zoom. The only big difference is, one of the main differences, one, I don't charge for this. This is absolutely free of charge. I've been lucky enough to stay employed full time. I wasn't put on furlough. Still carried on going to work. Had a bit of shift change pattern, but now it's back to the normal 9 to 5. I have no overheads, absolutely no overheads running out of my garage. Whereas at the gym, I had mat fees that you had to cover out of what you were, charging your clients for.
And were these experienced at doing it, or were you teaching people how to do it? Your martial arts.
So it's teaching. So what I decided over Zoom is to make it more of a fitness-based class.
Okay.
Cool. You really, if you're going to teach someone martial art, it's hands-on. The whole point of martial arts is it's generally with a partner. It's very hands-on. Right. You can move people around and say, no, that hand needs to be there, that foot needs to come on like this. So I figured just make it a fitness class. Okay. Weirdly, it's now developing into an actual teaching martial art class. As I found on Saturday, I was moaning at the kids that all their fighting stances weren't right, and you needed to do it more like this, and a quick explanation of the different styles and how different people. And Rachel was like, "You're teaching again. You've gone from just doing a circuits, fitness, a few punches and kicks to, it's changing to training again." So yeah, it's developing forward.
You look like you enjoy it.
Unbelievably so. I pretty much enjoy this more than I did the training for the fights, which I loved. I loved the training for fighting. It really did click with me. The first time I ever got really hit in the face hard, I was laughing about it. so yeah, couldn't believe the guy caught me with a cheeky punch, but it came in. So but the coaching it's next level stuff. It genuinely is. I think most people will either walk away from martial arts completely, or they'll go into some form of coaching or training or teaching. There's no middle ground, and I fell into the carrying it on and doing the coaching and teaching.
Amazing. So we're like in this period now where we're not sure whether we're going to go into lockdown again or not. So how do you see this evolving? Do you see you continuing doing Zoom classes, or what? Because you've sort of found a bit of a niche there, haven't you? So how do you see that evolving?
So obviously the gym's opened quite recently, 2 weeks ago, or last weekend, wasn't it? There was this big push. Now, my boss at the gym basically has left it up to me for when I want to come back. So my wife is very high risk for catching COVID. So I certainly, I wouldn't want to, just for the sake of running classes at a gym, pick it up, bring it home and spread it around.
Yeah, fine.
So he's fully happy with that. He's like, when you're ready, come on back. So, and no one that in my Zoom classes yet has said to me, when are you going to run these back in the gym? They're all pretty much, and in fact they're expanding as well. I've got another new starter on Saturday coming in.
Are they all in their garages as well, Richard?
Yeah, so it's pretty much a garden, rear garden, garage, conservatory. One guy's actually in a hallway. This guy is an absolute legend, and if he ever sees this blog, he'll know who he is, because he's the only person that will probably train in a hallway.
You'll have to send it to him. Great.
Oh, I'll tell everyone about it. So yes, pretty much you don't need that much room. Just a little bit of movement around. Like if you were going to do any circuits class, like off a DVD or television, you need a similar sort of moving area.
Right. Amazing. Lastly, how do you think it's helped you as far as physical and mental well-being during lockdown?
So the first 2 weeks, I absolutely threw myself into washing cars. See my Facebook page, you see there's about 5 or 6 family members.
That's changed. I've seen your cars, they're really clean.
Yeah. But thank you very much. So, but yes, and it really was. I was going through. So basically, when I was 21, I went into hospital for a back operation, and they told me I could not train anymore. This operation meant no more training, any fitness exercises or anything like that. And I sort of got that back when on the Friday night the government said the gyms are closed, you can't go to the gym anymore. And I was, and then I quickly went into quite a dark place almost straight away. So. So I threw myself into washing these cars, go to work, washing cars, going to work, washing cars. So one of the reasons why when these parents contacted said, do you want to try this out? I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go, see how this happens. And it's been a great slope, steadily upwards. I've always happy to run classes at the gym, do PT for people, do all of that stuff. But my own training, like I said, if I could get some in either side of doing the classes or PT, brilliant. Other than that, I come home and it's like comfort zone. But now, like every day, I do something every single day, whether it's walking or whether I do my own classes, because people, they're just listening to my voice and I can, funny enough, exercise and shout at the same time.
You must be a parent.
But I'm in the best physical shape I've been in since I was 20 years old.
That's amazing.
And weight, like I said, I'm not the lightest person in the world, certainly not. But like I said, for the last 10, 12 years, my weight has progressively gone the right direction. I have not regained weight at all. So it's still zipping down, so heading towards my goal. Closest
What's
I've
your
been.
goal? Let's end on that. What's your goal?
In old school, it's 13 stone. So I want to get that to me, because I'm quite, I have a big like bone structure and
personality.
Thank you, and shy guy. So yeah, if I could hit 13, that would be absolutely bob on for me.
You look amazing, and look, do you know what? Thanks for sharing your story, Richard.
Thank you.
Fantastic, and what you've been doing with the Zoom classes is absolutely brilliant. I love the story, and really thanks for sharing. And
no problem at
all. Yeah, all good. Look, thank you for that. Guys, hashtag fitter not fatter. Hope you enjoyed the blog. Thanks, Richard, for sharing, and I look forward to catching up with you all soon. And if you want to get in touch with Richard and find out how you could get involved in anything, I'm not sure he wants that, having looked at that reaction. But come through me first. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. Great to speak to you, Richard. And we'll
you, Phil.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Stay safe. Take care.